Overdose plays on the past, bringing it back to life in this first-person psychological horror title, where you have to do your job to stay alive. What's going on, you guys? It's your huggable hipster here, and welcome back to the channel. Today's review, I'm going to be diving into what I played of Overdose. Huge shout out to Keymailer and Cheesecake Dev for sending me a key to review this title. It's one of those moments where a previous game has imprinted itself on you, so to speak, and you are left with those memories. I am left with the fear of anything creeping in a hallway and me having to scurry into a locker as fast as humanly possible. There's so many aspects of this game that make it a must-play experience where you are administering these medications to patients. You have to keep track of what time it is to administer the medication. There's so many aspects of the game that I just absolutely love. And then there's also a lot of aspects that I wish would have been more smoothly done. There's a lot of quality of life things that need to be addressed within this game. Now, you guys know me, I am always going to be honest whenever it comes to a game. I'm going to tell you if I like it, if I love it, if I don't like it that much, or if I dislike it just a little bit. Whatever the case may be, I'm always going to be upfront with you guys. It doesn't matter if it's an indie developer, it doesn't matter if it's a AAA studio, I'm still going to treat it the same way. So let's dive into the things I really enjoyed about this game, and then we'll get into the things that I feel like need a little bit of working on. I love how nerve-wracking this game is. I love it, I love it, I love it. I'm on the edge of my seat, and whenever I saw like someone creeping into the camera, I was like, oh god, I need to sedate this person. What exactly is happening right now? I felt like, you know, those kind of like, I'm going to call them fear tingles. That's not the word that it is. But do you ever get those fear tingles of where your anticipation, that's it. That's a better word to use, actually. You know, those kind of like, I'm going to still go with fear tingles. Fear tingles and anticipation that you feel when something is about to happen, when you know something is going to happen. That's the feeling that you get with this game. It's a horror game. It's something that will keep you on the edge of your seat. And it has also old school vibes brought into a new school format. Overall, I love the minimalistic approach and how the horror is being performed in this game. It's not something of where you have a jump scare every 5 seconds. It's something that slowly creeps in on the player, which I love. Now, as a lot of you know, I do have a degree in psychology. This means I'm going to be taking extra care whenever it comes to the psychology within this psychological horror. That means A, looking at prescription medications, seeing if they're actually real, looking at diagnosis, treatments, all these kinds of things that are labeled within the patient charts. First of all, the drug names are not real. They're not real. I went to go search through a few and saw that they were combinations of different drugs that already existed, but they were pronounced in a weird way. So I thought, oh, okay, this is for this and this is for that. Now they're not real. So that's a little bit of a tick off for me, like a tick off the negative box for me personally. I know that's not going to be with every reviewer, obviously. But when it comes to prescription medication within games, actually adding the real name of the medication, I feel like it's not necessary, but it's a point towards the game and the immersion of the game. Now, this next part is going to be more of just a constructive criticism towards the accessibility of the game, but when it comes to the glitching effect that appears over the screen, there's some static things and some different more ambiotic touches that you can remove from the game if it affects your vision or anything else for that matter during your gameplay. There is one aspect, however, that I tried to remove because it was making my motion sickness a little bit wonky, was the glitching effect whenever you are in need of having a coffee. From what I've seen, you cannot remove that glitching effect because it signals the player to say, hey, you need caffeine in order to stay up to watch these patients. And immediately after you have your coffee, you have to run to the bathroom like your life depends on it. Our character must have the bladder the size of a fly. Because you can't do your other tasks if you have to go to the bathroom, which is really realistic and a nice touch added. You have to be mindful of all the cameras because that is how the story progresses. You're going to get notes from someone that you will need to send the footage to. The one major issue actually that made me stop playing the game a little bit earlier than I would have liked is the fact that there is no time or there is no certain thing making me aware of when I exactly have to give the patients their medication or administer any types of drugs. When you go see the security cameras, there is a clock down below that says the time, but I would go back and forth repeatedly to keep track of the time. I'm like, okay, that's the time that I need to keep track of the patients. I thought it was always kind of weird that you have to immediately go back down to the security room to check the footage in order to see what time it is currently, but I would always go there and it would always be 23 o'clock. So where else is it shown in the game that would give me a clear indicator of when I'm supposed to administer medication to the patient? There are just a lot of quality of life features in general that are missing from this game. The time factor and allowing me to see when I need to administer medication to the patients being a huge one. Also the fact of where I would go to random patients to try to administer medication and I couldn't. It would say, oh, you have to administer a tranquilizer first. So I would do that and then I would try to give them their medication and it wouldn't let me. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to try some different things with it. Maybe start off a new game and see maybe it was probably just a bug that occurred. I'm not sure, but I know my time with this game is nowhere near finished because I want to see how this ends off. I want to see different rooms that I can unlock and different things that I could explore. I absolutely love psychological horror games. So for me, I really want to see how this story pans out. But that was my mini review of Overdose. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you all like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below. May you find your worth in the waking world, dear hunter, and I will see you all in the next one. Umbasa.